The rain pounded relentlessly on the car's roof, creating a disorienting symphony of chaos. Each droplet seemed to taunt Sarah, testing the limits of her resolve. Her hands clenched the steering wheel, her knuckles turning bone white. She had always heard the stories, the chilling accounts of the vanishing hitchhiker, but she never thought she would find herself tangled in its web of fear. As the headlights cut through the impenetrable darkness, a figure emerged from the shadows, a silhouette cloaked in mist and desperation. The hitchhiker's outstretched arm trembled, her skeletal fingers pleading for salvation. Sarah's heart thudded against her ribcage, a mixture of compassion and trepidation surging through her veins. The hitchhiker stumbled toward the car, her wet clothes clinging to her fragile frame. The raindrops glistened on her pale skin, giving her an otherworldly glow. Sarah's throat tightened as she caught sight of the hitchhiker's eyes, wide and haunted, shimmering with an unfathomable depth of pain. Without a word, the hitchhiker entered the car, her presence invading the confined space like an unwelcome specter. Sarah's breath hitched as a chill spread through the air, seeping into her very core. She fumbled with the controls, adjusting the heat to combat the biting cold that seemed to emanate from the mysterious passenger. The hitchhiker's voice was a mere whisper, barely audible above the rain's relentless assault. "Thank you for stopping," she murmured, her tone both ethereal and unnerving. "I need a ride home." Sarah's unease grew, her instinct screaming at her to drive away, to abandon this unknown entity. But her compassion triumphed over her fears, and she forced a smile. "Of course. Where do you need to go?" The hitchhiker's reply was cryptic, laced with a sorrowful undertone. "Just keep driving. I'll guide you." Sarah's grip on the steering wheel tightened as they ventured deeper into the desolate countryside. The rain intensified, blurring the landscape into an abstract painting of shadows and uncertainty. Uneasy glances darted to the rearview mirror, where the hitchhiker sat, her eyes fixed on Sarah, piercing blue orbs that seemed to hold secrets untold. Time stretched, minutes melting into an indistinguishable haze. The hitchhiker's presence grew more disconcerting, her movements sporadic and unsettling. She would vanish momentarily from the mirror, only to reappear in a different position, her gaze unrelenting. As Sarah's anxiety reached its zenith, she realized they were heading toward the infamous abandoned bridge, a place shrouded in macabre legends, a gateway to the unknown. Panic clawed at Sarah's chest, threatening to suffocate her. She wanted to slam on the brakes, to turn the car around and flee from the encroaching darkness, but an unseen force compelled her forward. The bridge loomed ahead, its skeletal structure a haunting testament to forgotten stories. Sarah's breath hitched in her throat, her heart pounding like a battle drum. A blinding flash of lightning cut through the stormy night, illuminating the road ahead with a stark, nightmarish clarity. And in that ephemeral brilliance, Sarah caught a glimpse of the hitchhiker's face in the rearview mirror, an anguished visage etched with sorrow and despair. And then, just as quickly, she vanished. Sarah's trembling hands clenched the steering wheel, her mind unable to comprehend the unfolding nightmare. She frantically searched the backseat, her fingers grappling with empty space. The hitchhiker had vanished, leaving behind an indescribable emptiness that clawed at Sarah's sanity. As she stepped out of the car, rain cascading down her face, the world seemed to fade away, replaced by a surreal realm of unending darkness. A mournful cry tore through the night, carried by the howling wind, a ghostly wail that chilled Sarah to her core. It seemed to rise from the depths of the river beneath the bridge, a lamentation of eternal sorrow that echoed through her very soul. Haunted by the vanishing hitchhiker's memory, Sarah vowed never to pick up another stranded soul. But late at night, when the rain taps against her window like phantom fingertips, she still hears the faint whispers of the hitchhiker, calling her name from the darkest recesses of her mind. And she wonders if she'll ever truly escape the clutches of the vanishing hitchhiker's curse, or if she will forever be trapped in a realm where reality and urban legends intertwine. The wind howled relentlessly through the desolate town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, carrying with it an air of desolation and a chilling silence. The once bustling streets now stood empty, their life drained away, leaving behind an eerie void that sent shivers down the spines of those brave enough to venture out into the night. Whispers, like spectral echoes, lingered in the air, tales of a dark presence that had gripped the community for decades. They called it the Mothman. In the heart of this haunting place, a young and ambitious journalist named Emma found herself drawn to the mysteries that entwined Point Pleasant. Armed with her camera, a beacon of truth, and a relentless curiosity that burned within her, she embarked on a perilous quest to uncover the enigma that shrouded the town. The locals, their faces etched with fear and trepidation, warned her of the dangers that lurked in the shadows, tales of strange sightings and foreboding doom. But Emma, undeterred and driven by the allure of the unknown, brushed aside their cautionary words. It was on a moonlit night that Emma first encountered the Mothman. The dilapidated remains of the town's abandoned factory stood before her, a skeletal reminder of past industry. Broken windows stared like empty eyes, following her every move as she stepped cautiously into the decaying structure. The echoes of her footsteps reverberated through the vast emptiness, filling the void with an unnerving tension. As she ventured deeper into the dimly lit corridors, an unsettling sense of unease washed over her, like unseen eyes studying her every step. Shadows danced and writhed along the walls, whispering secrets that seemed to emerge from the very fabric of darkness itself. Abruptly, a pair of piercing red eyes materialized within the abyss, staring fixedly at Emma. The Mothman emerged, his immense wingspan casting a frigid shadow that crept across the cold concrete floor. Frozen in place, Emma stood as if trapped in a waking nightmare, her breath caught in her throat. With each beat of his leathery wings, a gust of icy wind tore through the corridor, extinguishing the flickering light bulbs one by one, plunging the surroundings into suffocating darkness. Heart pounding in her chest, Emma fumbled for her camera, desperately seeking to capture tangible evidence of the Mothman's existence. But before she could press the shutter, the creature vanished, leaving her alone in the oppressive blackness. Fear clenched her chest, and her mind reeled from the horrors she had witnessed. Nevertheless, an unyielding determination coursed through her veins, urging her to unravel the enigma and expose the truth. Weeks turned into months, and Emma's obsession grew with each passing day. She tirelessly pursued leads, scouring through dusty archives, and relentlessly interviewing eyewitnesses, determined to piece together the puzzle of the Mothman. Yet, the closer she approached the truth, the more sinister the forces at play became. Nocturnal whispers, once mere echoes, grew louder and more insistent, invading her nights with an oppressive presence. Her dreams became battlegrounds of torment, populated with visions of unrelenting destruction and suffocating despair. One fateful night, as Emma huddled in her makeshift office, a tempestuous storm raged outside. Thunder roared and lightning rent the sky asunder, casting fleeting illumination upon the silhouette of the Mothman perched outside her window. Its blood-red eyes fixated upon her, piercing her very soul, as if demanding her silence. Paralyzed with terror, she watched in awe and horror as the creature unfurled its majestic wings and took flight, disappearing into the turbulent tempest of the night. Determined to expose the true nature of the Mothman, Emma once again braved the treacherous streets of Point Pleasant. The townsfolk, their faces etched with a mixture of fear and desperation, pleaded with her to abandon her pursuit. They warned of impending doom, speaking of catastrophic events that loomed on the horizon, threatening to unleash devastation upon the unsuspecting town. But Emma, consumed by her quest and blinded to the dangers that lurked closer than ever, pressed forward, unwavering in her determination. And then, on a bitter winter's eve, the Mothman's prophecy came to pass. Point Pleasant was cast into chaos as a catastrophic bridge collapse shattered the peace, sending cars hurtling into the icy depths below. The streets erupted in screams and desperate cries for help, drowning in a sea of twisted metal and shattered dreams. Emma, battered and bruised but miraculously alive, stood amidst the wreckage, her camera clutched tightly in her trembling hands. In the aftermath of the tragedy, the Mothman once again vanished into the shadows, leaving behind a town haunted by grief and loss. Emma, forever changed by her harrowing journey, had learned a painful lesson, a cautionary tale of the darkness that lurks within the world. Deep within her heart, she vowed to leave Point Pleasant, to abandon her relentless pursuit of the unknown. Yet, as she walked away, her every step seemingly lighter, she couldn't help but feel the lingering presence of the Mothman, a chilling reminder that some secrets are better left buried in the eternal embrace of shadows.
I hope you enjoy the content I upload. If you like what I'm doing, why not think about clicking on the subscribe button to keep up to date on my uploads. Thank you all for the great support.
The wind howled through the dense forest, whispering secrets and stirring up leaves that clung to the damp ground. The moon, obscured by dark clouds, cast an eerie glow on the shadowy landscape. In the heart of Maryland, A tale whispered by locals sent shivers down their spines, a tale of the goatman. Deep within the woods stood an abandoned farmhouse, weathered and forgotten. Locals claimed it was once home to a mad scientist, Dr. Bartholomew Kane. Legend had it that Dr. Kane had conducted grotesque experiments on animals, playing God with their bodies and souls. He was said to have created a hideous creature, half man, half goat, the infamous goatman. The story had its roots in a dark chapter of Maryland's history. Dr. Kane, a brilliant yet deranged scientist, had arrived in the sleepy town of Pinecrest years ago. He rented the farmhouse, using it as his laboratory, his lair of twisted creation. The locals regarded him with a mixture of curiosity and unease as tales of his bizarre experiments spread like wildfire. On a cold, moonlit night, a group of teenagers decided to investigate the dilapidated farmhouse, fueled by their reckless curiosity and the bravado of youth. Their footsteps echoed through the overgrown path, the crunch of leaves a stark reminder of the silence that surrounded them. As they approached the farmhouse, an overwhelming sense of dread washed over them. The once sturdy door creaked open, beckoning them inside like a hungry predator. They hesitated, but the allure of the unknown pulled them deeper into the dark recesses of the house. The air grew thick and stagnant as they ventured deeper, their flashlights casting eerie shadows that danced on the decaying walls. A faint scratching noise resonated from the darkness, followed by a low, guttural growl. The teenagers froze, their hearts pounding in their chests. Out of the corner of their eyes, they caught glimpses of a twisted figure lurking in the shadows. It moved with a sinister grace, limbs contorting in unnatural ways. The goatman had come to life, seeking vengeance for the atrocities committed against him by Dr. Kane. The goatman's origin was a tale steeped in tragedy. Dr. Kane, driven by his obsession with immortality, had subjected numerous animals to cruel experiments. It was in one particularly gruesome experiment that he had attempted to fuse the essence of a goat with that of a man, creating a monstrous hybrid. But his unholy creation turned on him, tearing through the farmhouse in a fit of rage, and vanishing into the depths of the forest. One by one, the teenagers fell victim to the goatman's wrath. Blood-curdling screams echoed through the night as the creature claimed its victims, leaving only a trail of terror in its wake. The once curious group was now engulfed in a nightmare they could never have imagined. Word of the goatman's reign of terror spread like wildfire, turning the once thriving town into a ghost town. Locals spoke in hushed tones, afraid to venture out after dark, and the whispers of the goatman's haunting echoed in every corner. Years later, the farmhouse remained a chilling reminder of the atrocities committed within its walls. The town's inhabitants believed the place to be cursed, forever tainted by the malevolent presence of the goatman. Some claimed that on certain nights, a mournful cry could still be heard, carried on the wind, a cry that chilled the marrow of those who dared to listen. Legends and rumors surrounded the goatman's existence. Some said he had taken up residence deep within the woods, in a hidden lair shrouded by darkness. Others believed he roamed the outskirts of the town, preying on unsuspecting victims who dared to cross his path. The truth remained elusive, cloaked in fear and uncertainty. The legend of the Goatman of Maryland lives on, a cautionary tale of curiosity turned deadly. The dark secrets that reside within the forest continue to taunt those who are brave enough, are foolish enough, to explore its depths. And as long as the wind whispers through the trees, the Goatman's sinister presence will loom, forever haunting the nightmares of those who dare to tread on his domain. The tale serves as a chilling reminder that some secrets are better left undisturbed, hidden away in the depths of forgotten forests, where the boundary between man and monster blurs and nightmares come to life.